Okay, so we come to our next question, which says that the factor group 2z over 6z 2z over 6z is isomorphic to what? Is it z3 or z6? Oh, well, um, this this factor group actually, we know how to write the elements already. Is that not so? If I take the group 2z, 2z members are 2, 4, 6, 8, going, and 6z elements, I can represent this as h. 6z elements is equals to 6, 12, 18, going. And so what are they asking us to do? Well, we can actually form the factor group, okay? And so if we are forming a factor group, what we just have to do is to compose the subgroup elements with the main group and to get our answers. So if I start adding each of the elements of our subgroup, let's say 6 to this 6, if I add 6 here, I'm getting 8. If I add 12, I'm getting the next thing. So it's just a subgroup like that. But what are they asking us to do? Well, if you look at this particular group here, you can actually write it as 2 over 2 over 2 over z over 3z, like this. Okay, 2 over 2 times z over 3z, like that. So if we look at this, this is actually isomorphic to z3. Okay, it's isomorphic to z3. But you know what isomorphism is? When we talk about isomorphism, we are simply trying to look at when we map elements onto each other without distracting their binary properties or changing their binary properties. So we see that the two sets are isomorphic. Isomorphic means maybe they are similar, or we only did some translation to get the other group. So if we take the elements of Z3, the elements of Z3 are what? They are 0, 1, 2, that's all, like this. So these are the elements of Z3. Now, if you are taking the elements of this particular group, you will get elements like h plus 0, h plus maybe 1, h plus 2, like this. And so the next one, it will repeat again. So there will just be 3 elements like this, 3 elements like this. And so we are saying that we can actually, this group here is isomorphic to this factor group. Okay, it is isomorphic to this factor group here, because we can just translate these elements to these elements of the factor group without distracting or changing the binary structures, meaning those binary properties that we all know in abstract algebra. So that's it. So the answer here is Z3 and not Z6. So take note. So they are saying that if A is a cyclic group and the order, when you see these two bars, it means order of A is 60, how many subgroups can be formed from A? Well, the subgroups are simply the factors of the order that we have here. So if we can know the number factors of this subgroup of this order, then those are the number of subgroups. So if I take 60 So factors of 60 yeah, equals what? 1 2 3 4 5 6 10 12 15 20 yeah, 30 and I think 60. Yeah, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So we can see that therefore a this this is the other actually. We can see that the A has 12 subgroups. It has 12 subgroups, and that's all for that one. They are saying that is the set 2z of even integers a commutative ring. Oh, I think it should be a commutative ring. Commutative ring with or without unity. So I think they wanted to ask that question. So let's see what are the elements of z 2z. Well, you can see that maybe dash -4 -2 0 2 4 going. These are the elements of 2z. So 2z elements are this. And so they are asking us, is it a commutative ring with or without unity? Well, commutativity, you want to know commutativity, just take any two elements. If you add them, you know whether the element is also inside. 2 plus 4, you get 6. 6 more 2, 6 more 2, you get 0. So it is actually 0 is inside, and we are getting something inside. So we can say that this is actually a ring, even though we didn't do all the test, we didn't state all the axioms of a ring, but you can see that it is actually a ring, a commutative ring without unity. Why is it without unity? The reason is that there is no 1 inside. 1 does not belong to 2z, therefore 2z is a commutative ring without unity. That's all for that one. We pause here and we continue to look at the axioms of a ring. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe.